of a place as safe as Tysons Corner Center, it makes all of our hearts drop to the pit of our stomachs. I know mine did when I heard about this. The possibility of an active violence incident or an active shooter at a place as safe as Tysons Corner Center is something that shocks us all. But we're prepared for it, and we're ready for it. And the Fairfax County Police Department trains vigorously on active violence incidents. Our relationship with Tysons Corner Center, their management, you can see them all here today, is the gold standard. We have a contingent of police officers that are assigned to Tysons Corner Center every day of the week. Our Tysons Urban Team. And our police officers were on the scene of this shooting, this shots fired today, immediately, because we have police officers in Fairfax County dedicated to Tysons Corner Center. That's how important Tysons Corner Center is to us and to the community, not just in Fairfax County, but in the entire National Capital Region. All you have to do is say the word Tysons. People come here because it's safe, and that's going to always continue to be the case. So I'm going to turn this over to Executive Deputy Chief Brian Riley to provide some details of what happened here earlier this afternoon. But know this, we will find, we will capture, and we will hold accountable the persons involved for this melee, this reckless discharging of a firearm on the second floor of Tysons Corner Center in the middle of a beautiful Saturday afternoon. We're going to find them. I promise you that. They will be held accountable, and that's going to happen in short order. And the next time we stand before you, we're going to be talking about who they are, and we're going to be talking about criminal charges being placed against them. This shouldn't happen. It can't happen. And we join the community. This isn't acceptable to any of us. Any of us. So enough. We're going to find these guys and hold them accountable. So I'll turn it over to Chief Riley, and then we'll stand ready to take some questions.
Thanks. Good afternoon. Today, just after 2:45 this afternoon, our 911 communications center started to receive several phone calls from community members stating that there had been a shooting inside of the Tysons Center Mall here. So our officers were already on scene. We had several officers that were assigned here, that were on location. They immediately started to go towards the location where people were calling in and telling us where the shooting took place. Officers also were dispatched that were on the road. They also came in. As our community members were fleeing outside of the Tysons Center, our officers were going inside to establish what took place, to try to find out if there were any injuries to anybody, any victims, or if there's any suspects. At this time, we have detectives on scene that are inside of the Tysons that are going through hundreds of angles of video to try to ascertain what took place here today. At this time, we have no victims that we are aware of, whether at local hospitals or here on the scene, that are suffering from any gunshot wounds. None. We did have 3 people that were transported to local hospitals for injuries sustained while fleeing from inside of Tysons. So we'll make that very clear. At this point, we have nobody that's been injured from gunfire. We have established from looking at our crime scene and starting to process the area that someone did fire a gun. We've recovered evidence that is consistent with gunfire, as in shell casings. So we're still very early in this investigation, but as the chief said, we have a lot of information coming into us from our community members, from the cameras inside of Tysons, and we are going to establish what took place. We're going to be able to establish who did what in this situation, and as the chief said, I fully expect charges sooner than later in this case.
Approximately how many shots were fired?
I'm not going to get into the evidence specifics, but shots were fired inside.
Can you tell us how many shooters there were?
Cannot give you that either. So I have not seen any of the video yet. Like I said, there's several hundred cameras in there. We're trying to get the video that shows all of what took place in this incident, and we will get there. We will get there this afternoon. But at this time, I can't tell you exactly what took place or how many shooters there were.
Where exactly did the incident occur again?
It was on the second floor of the Tysons Corner Center.
Is it fair to say multiple shots? We heard from witnesses.
Multiple shots is fair to say, yes.
Can you tell us in between, like near what stores it happened?
So it was on one of the walkways up there. The
pretty big mall. So
Right. So it was just inside. I'm not going to get into any of the stores. I have not been inside the scene. I'm going there next. but it was on the second floor of the Tysons Corner Center. No, on the walkway area outside. That's accessible to the public. Yes.
And this started as a fight between two people, groups of people. What can you tell us about that?
So we're going through that video to try to figure it out. We have several witnesses that stayed on scene. And when I say several, double digits worth of people, 20 plus people here that we're trying to get through interviews now. But we believe some kind of fight took place, at which point somebody displayed a handgun and fired multiple times.
Is the mall fully evacuated now?
So our officers went through the entire mall to see if we could find any victims, which we very happy to say did not. But then we were also looking for people that may have been hiding in place, which is pretty normal for a situation like this. We cleared the entire mall, and I think the chief will get into it, but the Tysons Corner Center has told us they are not going to reopen for today. They're going to keep it shut down, and they'll reopen tomorrow.
Do we know how many people were involved? How large was this?
That's something we're trying to figure out as well through all the videos, but I would say it was two groups, which I would say 3 people at least on both sides.
Do you have a timetable when you'll be able to share a little bit more about what happened inside the mall? Just a lot of people want to know, like, kind of what happened, where it happened, or confirm. When will you all be able to confirm that information?
Sunday or Monday at the latest. We are, in a very short amount of time, very deep into this investigation. We're deep into this investigation with names and with vehicles. We are working with surrounding police departments. You can see today that the Virginia State Police immediately stepped up and provided a great amount of traffic control for us. So kudos to the Virginia State Police. But our detectives, like always, in this National Capital Region where boundaries are tough to come by because they're so blurred, we're in contact with several other National Capital Region police departments. And because of that, in addition to other things, we're deep into this investigation, and we anticipate we'll stand before you again sometime tomorrow afternoon or Monday at the very latest with more information and hopefully news of a closure. Yes, ma'am.
Do we know what kind of weapon was used?
Now, we know it's a firearm that was capable of firing projectiles that had shell casings. So we have shell casing ballistic evidence on the scene, several shell casings that have been recovered, and hopefully we'll be able to answer that question a little bit later.
You have a very large response here from, like you said, multiple agencies. You had to evacuate a mall, a whole lot going on. Folks also want to know, how long do you guys plan to keep this area blocked off? How long will this investigation last into the night?
As long as it needs to. And I know that's a cop-out of an answer, but we're going to do a thorough job. Fairfax County Fire and Rescue is here. They were on the scene immediately. And you know, the reputation of Fairfax County Fire and Rescue speaks for itself. They were here immediately to give aid. You know, it's a patient-centric response. So we want to save lives. And that's why our response was so thorough, so comprehensive. We practice this. Our active violence incident preparation goes beyond police officers, but it also includes fire and rescue personnel as well.
Can you tell us what time you received the call and what time you responded?
So we received the call at 2:47. We were on scene at 2:47 because we have police officers that were working this location today when this incident happened. So it was immediate response.
Just to follow up on 2 things. First of all, you said we're deep into this investigation with names and license plates. Can you elaborate on that? Is that names of potential?
I think I said vehicle descriptions and person descriptions. And here's the intention behind me telling you that. I think anytime this happens, the community wants to know, is there a threat at large, either in Tysons Corner Center or in the immediate surrounding community. Thanks to our relationships with our surrounding jurisdictions and the detective work that's happening now, we are not at a whodunit phase in this investigation. We already have names. We have witnesses that we're interviewing right now. We're going through hundreds of cameras that have video footage that we want to continue to pursue. So all those things I mentioned to ensure this community in Fairfax County and beyond, that this comprehensive public safety response is going to yield the results that this community expects from its police and fire personnel.
You say we're lucky there were no injuries today?
Well, we're always fortunate that there's not an injury. When shots ring out inside of a shopping center here or anywhere else in America and no one suffers a fatal or a non-fatal gunshot wound, that's a good thing. What's not a good thing is that it happened. And we join thousands of American police departments across the country as we prepare for active violence incidents, aka active shootings. It's happening at a relentless rate, it seems, across this country. And it can happen anywhere. It can happen anywhere at any time. And what I'm very proud of, and I know our fire chief, John Butler, is very proud of, is the response of the men and women who were here so quickly and exhibited such grace under pressure and were calm, cool, and collective as they went about the business of making sure that the area was safe, trying to identify people who had sheltered in place and let them know it's safe to now come out, and working with the management at Tysons Corner Center. There's a lot of moving parts that are happening at the same time, and we look forward to, within 24 to 48 hours, sharing some more detail about it.
You touched on this. Can you just elaborate a little bit more about the partnership that you all have with the mall? How often do trainings like to respond to incidents like this take place?
Yeah.
And also, can you give a rough estimation of how many officers were already on scene, doing their normal patrol inside the mall?
There were several that are assigned to the mall today. Our relationships, our training, our active violence incident training has been going on for a number of years in Fairfax County. We were one of the pioneering police departments in the country to specifically train and provide equipment to patrol officers, breaching equipment, shields, things that allow police officers to go in while something's in progress and to confront danger, and to identify threats and to eliminate threats. So that's been going on, but post-Buffalo, post-Uvalde, Texas, our training has even enhanced, and we can't train enough. And the partnership we have with Tysons Corner Center and their management, their leadership, is what sets Tysons Corner Center apart from virtually every other shopping center in America. We have full-time cops assigned here every day, and they work in partnership with not only the management, but they have a presence here. And presence means so much right now in our communities, particularly at places where people gather. So one of the messages I kind of want to leave everyone with is Tysons Corner Center is safe. We want you to come here. We know you're going to see the police when you're here, and they're there for you, to protect you. Tysons Corner Center enjoys, present tense and future tense, a great regional and national reputation, and we're glad to be a part of that. The mall opens tomorrow. Tysons Corner Center specifically opens tomorrow at 11 a.m.
We find ourselves in a situation where, like you said, it can happen anywhere. Just as a reminder or maybe an educational moment for the general public, if they find themselves in a situation like this again, do you think that they responded the right way? What should you do? You're in an environment, you hear those gunshots.
So the old adage of run, hide, fight, I think rings true. So it's an individual decision a person needs to make based on where they are at that particular moment of crisis. So if you sheltered in place today, great job, and we're proud of you, and we're glad you're safe. If you decided to run to your car in the parking garage or to otherwise flee, great job. We're glad you made that decision, and we're glad that you're safe. So it depends on the particular circumstances of that person at that moment. And we all act differently under stress. We all do. But the reason why we're able to deliver such exceptional services under stress as a police and fire personnel is because we practice and we build in that muscle memory.
Is there a safety issue for the general public outside of Tysons? Have you contacted other states just in case this person of interest crossed state lines?
There is not an immediate safety issue for anyone who's here now. Anyone who chooses to spend some time at Tysons Corner Center tomorrow or anywhere else shopping in the vicinity, and our surrounding partners have been briefed on our investigative updates, and there is no immediate danger to anyone at the moment. Anything else? Okay, I got sunburn out here. I'm going to blame it on Neil Augenstein.
Thanks, Chief.
Okay, good. Thank you.